Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with SimplerOptions.com, and in today's free video, I wanted to spend some time, in this case, it just happens to be the SPX, but more talking about the concept of the types of trades that at least I'll be focusing on for the week ahead. When you look at this chart, and there's been a lot of discussion about this, there's been a lot of people that have pointed it out, but essentially, if you go back to the beginning of the year, the S&Ps have really made no progress. Now, of course, they've had some very drastic swings, but in the big scheme of things, we have not made any progress. I'm also looking at this pattern and just kind of noticing a little bit of similarity in it here, and I am looking for this to essentially repeat. Now, the big catch to this is I'm not necessarily looking for that to repeat next week. As you head into a monthly expiration, you'll see a lot of situations where market makers and funds have a vested interest in a lot of the premium in these contracts expiring worthless. So the fact that we've been in a range-bound market, the fact that we're heading into a monthly expiration, these are all things that tell me that I think we'll still be essentially trading sideways. Now, how do we take advantage of that? Well, one easy market to look at it in is SPX. I say it's easy because I like the fact that you cannot be assigned in a cash index. I also like the idea that you're relatively close to a psychological area of 2050, and once again, just kind of the basic concept that you're somewhat equidistant between what I would consider resistance and support, which lands you right in the middle of the range, and a decent opportunity to work some type of premium play. Now, how would we do this? Well, I would come over into these options, and I do not want to use those, any of them that expire in the middle of the week or anything like that. I'm looking at these, and also too, a lot of times I will look at it and say, okay, what is my typical expiration on this? This is going to be 7 days out. For SPX, it will be a little bit different, but I will also drop down, and if you ever have questions about the contracts that you're going to try and participate in, just look in those that have the higher amount of open interest and volume. It's not to say that you have to force them there, but typically it will just be a bit easier. So if we look at that concept and look at these that are 6 days out, we've got a $31 expected move. That lands kind of right within the scope of what I've just covered here. And I think the easiest way to play this is by, in Thinkorswim, we would configure this as an iron condor. But instead of just looking at the iron condor, just match the body of these two strikes. So we sell the 250 put, sell the 250 call, and then evaluate this equidistant. Now, I like making these a little bit wider to give you a higher probability of success, but the main thing here is that you're taking in $9.10 of credit, assuming you can get it. The markets are closed. These will widen out a bit. But if you can get that, your risk reward is very good. And then towards the end of the week, if provided the markets trade sideways like this, it's one of the best ways to try to capitalize on that theta decay. So, several different reasons why I like that idea. Also, if you do this as two verticals, it will allow you to, say you may be a little bit more bearish, tack on an extra short call to complement this idea, and then you can kind of adjust your deltas that way. So, I hope you guys find that helpful. That will be one of the main strategies that I am using into next week. And then if you have some time this weekend, I wanted to make sure that you were aware of the futures class that John, Tony, and Neil will be putting on. The big portion of the course will be on Saturday, and then into next week they're going to have some live trading, and I'm really looking forward to it. So if that's something you'd like to add to your trading, want to learn a little bit more about the futures setups and what these guys have been focusing on, I think this will be a great course for you, and I hope to see you there.